Newsflash takes up with the re-election of Dr. Bernard Aliu as president of the Council of the International Civil Aviation Organization for a second three-year term. Aliu secured the vote at the Council's meeting, which took place in Montreal, Canada, early this week. In his acceptance speech, Aliu said that over the past 3 years, ICAO has been working tirelessly to promote the importance of civil aviation to socio-economic development. He added that the global aviation regulatory body had given priority to national and regional investment and development planning. Aliu first assumed the office of ICAO Council President on January 1st, 2014, having been elected by acclamation by the ICAO Council following the completion of the mandate of the previous president, Mr. Roberto Gonzalez.
It is also important for governments around the world to understand the role of aviation and put it as a topmost priority in their development agenda.
The Senate Committee on Aviation has criticized all marketers, describing them as the cartel behind recurrent fuel shortage in the industry. At an emergency meeting in Lagos with the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, members of the committee said time had come to unbundle the cartel and free the air travel sector from imminent collapse. They added that they are particularly worried over poor radio communication between pilots and control towers. The committee stated that the poor state of communication facilities pose a lot of danger to air travel, and so it's time to act.
This issue is not something that can be taken at the background, and that something will be done about it. The MD NAMA has given us assurance that they are doing something about it, and he has given us a timeline within which we think everything will be remedied. We will do whatever is humanly possible to continue the oversight along that line to ensure that it is done.
As Nigeria's economic recession bites harder on the local airline industry, an expert has asked the federal government to lend a helping hand to the sector, especially local airlines, to save them from folding up. The chairman of IRS Airline, ICAO Council, believes the aviation sector and the local airline industry are critical to the nation's economy.
I think we need a lot more support for indigenous airlines because right now there's a lot of hammering on the airlines to pay all debts. They have a lot of problems for maintenance, and all these things require foreign exchange, acquisition of airplanes, maintenance of airplanes, spare parts, insurance, training. And this foreign exchange is not there. And the more you charge passengers, the less passengers you get. Therefore, unless a deliberate effort is made to support these airlines, they are really going to go down.
Cities around the world are separated by physical distance. But individuals can travel relatively easily between cities using various forms of transportation. Air travel not only connects people, but it connects economies to further develop the global economy. In this chain, airlines and airports are critical infrastructure assets for modern, globally linked economies. An international airport is one that offers customs and immigration facilities for passengers traveling between countries, and they are typically larger than domestic airports. The airports often feature longer runways and facilities to accommodate the heavier aircraft commonly used for international and intercontinental travel. A major gateway is the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos, among 3 others across Nigeria. Over 10 million passengers pass through this facility, and all have to pass documents clearing carried out by the Nigerian Immigration Service. The NIS's role at airports includes the investigation, detention, repatriation, and deportation of foreigners who violate relevant laws, manning of the border post, and the implementation of Nigeria's export visa regimes.
To make sure those undesirable elements are not allowed in, and those who have the requisite, papers with valid travel documents are of course allowed to come in. But those who are in short of these requirements, no compromise, we send them back, or rather we simply refuse them entry. What I kept on preaching is about this synergy, this cooperation, this collaboration to make sure all security threats are properly handled and contained.
The Immigration Service also has the responsibility of screening foreigners coming into the country through our air borders before they are allowed into Nigeria. At the point of entry, foreigners are most times asked the reason for their visit and how long they'll be staying in the country and where. At airports and every other border, a set of people are immune to rigorous questioning, or these include presidents of countries and diplomats. At this air border in Lagos, passengers are expected to check the entry and travel requirements for their destination countries, including an identity card, passport, and visa. Most of the processes here in Lagos are carried out manually. Some other countries offer automated gates on arrival that check passengers against a database of passport information and allow them to enter the country without seeing an immigration officer. They typically use a biometric means of identification to validate the passenger, for example, a fingerprint, a photograph of an iris, or a comparison of the face with the photograph in the passport. At the MMIA, some of these processes are also incorporated, but this passenger says it's time to move with the times.
I think we still need to improve on those things. Most of those things that internationally are done electronically or digitally, we still do find ourselves doing a lot of them manually in Nigeria, and it's really, really hectic, for travelers.
It's okay. At least they are a bit humble. They are polite about their jobs. They are not harsh. They do their work as expected. Some they behave as if they are more than the uniform they are putting on. But here, at least, they are fair to people.
When all the processes required of any international passenger is done, then it's straight to the boarding gate.
This is our final destination on this edition. Please remember to reach us on our feedback platform. I'm Bukola Joketumbi. See you next week, God's willing.